What's going on, everybody? This is Zach here, back with another NBA DFS video for today, Monday, March the 15th. Hope everybody had a really good weekend. Hope everybody was able to catch the Players Championship, able to see Justin Thomas win it all. If you watched my PGA video, you would have seen that he was one of my favorite plays on the slate at his price point. But you don't care about golf today. You're here for NBA. So let's go ahead and jump into it. As always, if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It greatly helps grow this channel and reaches a larger audience. And make sure to hit the like button with the thumbs up as well. So my content is always geared towards players that manually build a single lineup to try to take down some huge contests, not necessarily using an optimizer to try to gain exposure to every player on the slate. That's just not my style of play. So all the players you see here that I'm recommending are, again, more towards that single entry, single lineup build, but very usable in GPPs, max entry GPPs as well, to try and take down these contests. So let's go ahead and jump into it as for today. Starting out with my favorite games on the slate. So starting out at the top, we have Sacramento versus Charlotte. They're coming in with a 239 over under, so projected to be a really high scoring game, and I definitely want some pieces out of this game. Then we have Milwaukee at Washington coming in with a projected over under of 240. So the highest projected total scoring game on the slate for today. And then we have the Lakers and Golden State. So they have a projected total of 224 over under. So not the highest projected total, but I do like some of the players' price points in this game because the usage seems to be really concentrated. So we'll go ahead and get into those plays as well. But yeah, these are my top three favorite games on tonight's slate, which is going to be an 8-game slate overall. So let's go into the studs. So my favorite stud picks, these are players priced 9K and above. Starting at the top, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We just saw this team, or we just saw this game actually. Milwaukee played Washington, and no one could stop Giannis. It was a close game, so he got that full fourth quarter run, and he eclipsed 70 DK points, and his price only increased $100. And now Washington gets Bradley Beal back, so it should be more competitive as well. So I definitely have some interest in Giannis as well. It doesn't matter if who Washington puts on him; they have absolutely nobody on their team that can guard him. And so I think a 60-point DK point performance is definitely plausible with upside to hit that 70 ceiling again. Like Giannis is just going to get and do whatever he wants versus his Washington team. And as long as it stays competitive and it gets that fourth quarter run, that's when we see those crazy ceiling Giannis games. And again, it just happened the other day against the same team. So go right back to Giannis. I felt pretty confident in Giannis with at least a floor of like 55. So really solid play there. Then we go to Russell Westbrook. So Westbrook went insane against Milwaukee the other day. Was able to hit 80 DK points. Of course, Bradley Beal was out, so Westbrook's usage rate was just through the roof, and he didn't disappoint. And now Bradley Beal is back. Westbrook's price has increased a little bit, so I don't love him as much as Giannis, but if you want to just full out game stack this game, since it is the highest projected total game on the slate, you definitely want to make sure to get some Russell Westbrook as well. But for only 600 more, I think I would definitely prefer Giannis as my stud. And then we have right under Westbrook, we do have LeBron coming in at 10-3. LeBron didn't really play that much last game versus Indiana. But coming into this game, it's a big profile game against Golden State. I like LeBron against these bigger teams and more national cover teams. And LeBron at 10-3, Lakers need to win. They got to get back on track. And so I do have some interest in LeBron as well, especially at the small forward position. Small forward is extremely, extremely weak today, in my opinion. And so just paying up for the top small forward makes a lot of sense to me in some cases if the lineup build works that way. So I definitely like LeBron, again, to fill in that small forward position. And at 10-3, I think we're looking at a floor of at least 48 to 50 from him tonight against Golden State. Sticking with this Milwaukee versus Washington game, we have Bradley Beal coming in at 9-4. So Bradley Beal, again, didn't play in that first game versus Milwaukee, comes back tonight. And one of Milwaukee's weaknesses is giving open shots to shooters. Bradley Beal, of course, lethal scorer, lethal shooter. And at 9-4, I definitely have some interest in getting some Bradley Beal into my lineups as well in that shooting guard position. And rounding out my favorite studs, we do have De'Aaron Fox at 9-1. So Fox has just been balling out of control post All-Star break and even a little bit before the All-Star break as well. Just going, crazy in all his games. And one of my favorite games of the night going up against Charlotte should be super high scoring, really fast paced. And I do really like De'Aaron Fox tonight at 9-1. Tyrese Halliburton is back. He played, I think, like 24 minutes the last game out. So his minutes do seem to be increasing. So that is a slight risk as far as usage goes, just because Halliburton, was a solid option for the Kings and really took away a little bit of usage from De'Aaron Fox. But it seems to be more impacting Buddy Hield than anything. So De'Aaron Fox at 9-1 in a really, really good matchup. I do have a lot of interest in plugging in De'Aaron Fox as well. I think he's a really affordable price, and I think his floor should be around 45 DK points as well. So moving into my favorite upper mid-range plays, these are going to be players priced from the 7K to 9K range. Not that much interest from me in this range. Didn't really see anybody that stood out. But starting at the top, Kawhi Leonard priced under 9K. So they are on the tail end of a back-to-back, but they got blown out by New Orleans yesterday, so he didn't really get that many minutes. So not too much of a concern as far as the back-to-back risk goes, but Kawhi priced under 9K. Clippers, need a win, and I do like Kawhi at this price point. He's like, he is that stud level talent, but you're getting him for slightly under stud level price. So I don't hate Kawhi Leonard tonight here as well. And then we go under to LaMelo Ball, sticking again with the Sacramento Charlotte game. LaMelo seems to be easily the favorite for Rookie of the Year. Everybody knows about LaMelo Ball at this point. He's amazing, it seems. And at his price point at 8.7K, I think we can expect, 40, 45 DK points. So pretty consistent. I'm not sure if the stealing game is going to happen this game just because Charlotte is at full health. So they have a lot of different options to go with. But I definitely don't mind some LaMelo Ball at 8.7. All right, now going into my favorite lower mid-range plays. So this is going to be our players priced from the 5 to 7K range. And as you can see, there are a ton of players that I do like in this range. So we'll kind of run through here, and I'll try to pick out my favorite ones. So at the top, Terry Rozier coming in just under 7K. Terry Rozier is a little bit of a risk, just because, again, you need him to score a lot of real-life points in order to hit his value. But this is the perfect game opportunity to do that in. If he goes out there and drops 30 real-life points, not going to be surprised at all. And this is the cheapest we've seen Rozier in a little bit as well. So I do have some interest in Rozier. Going underneath him, we have Drew Holiday at 6'5". So Drew Holiday, is coming off that minutes restriction, it seems. Played a lot of minutes last game versus Washington, performed really, really well. So I do have some interest in Drew Holiday as well, and what should be a competitive game again, and a really high scoring game between the Bucks and the Wizards. Going underneath there, we have Mr. Draymond Green at 6'5". So Draymond, for me, getting some of that Warriors exposure, and at 6'5", I think he's a really, really affordable price point. I do expect this game to remain close and competitive. And Draymond, kind of the jack of all trades for the Warriors team, gets the high assist numbers, rebounds, could score a little bit as well, the defensive stats with blocks and steals. And I do have a lot of interest in Draymond as well. He's probably one of my favorite plays in the entire 6K range. Right underneath him, we have Rashawn Holmes. This guy's just been super consistent the last 4 games, putting up right around those high 30s, low 40 DK point numbers, and just stays priced a little underpriced to me at 6.4K. No Hassan Whiteside still for the Kings, so he's getting a lot of the extra minutes. Even though he starts, he's getting the extra run still. And at 6'4", he's just super, super consistent lately. And so have no issue just plugging in Rashawn Holmes to get some Kings exposure as well on this Kings and Charlotte game. Underneath him, we have Dennis Schroeder at 6'2", another guy that I think's slightly underpriced as well. We've seen Schroeder now post back-to-back high 30-point DK point games and priced at 6'2". I'll take that value every day of the week. Dennis Schroeder in the game I like against Golden State, he has to be that number 2 scoring option since there is no Anthony Davis. And so he's getting a really high usage rate. And I do like him a lot for either the point guard or shooting guard position, whatever you need him in tonight against the Warriors. Underneath there, we have Tyrese Halliburton. So this does come with a little bit of a risk and a disclaimer. Definitely want to make sure if you can find out any news or confirm that Halliburton does not have a minutes restriction. I really do like Halliburton at this price. This is a guy that we saw priced consistently above 6K before he had that injury, and in a really, really good plus matchup against Charlotte. I would love Tyrese Halliburton here. Again, the risk does come with his minutes. They have said that he's on a minute restriction, but he played over 20 plus minutes last game. So if they announce he's off any type of minute restriction, then I definitely love Halliburton in this game. And then last play here in this range is going to be Emmanuel Quickley. No Elfrid Payton, no Derrick Rose for the New York Knicks. So Emmanuel Quickley, he didn't start last game, but he did play 33 minutes off the bench. So he does appear to be the preferred player in that rotation for the Knicks. And Quickley's having a great rookie season. As far as scoring the ball, I've heard comparisons to Lou Williams, in that he's just a professional scorer. And at this price, I don't love him going up against Brooklyn. There is concern of a slower paced game or even a blowout, maybe, that Brooklyn always has that threat to blow people out. But Quickley at this price, if he gets it going, he can definitely pay off this value. But definitely not my favorite play in this range. But again, just want to mention him just because Elfrid Payton and Derrick Rose is out. He should get 30 plus minutes of PT again. And if his shot's falling, he can definitely, have a really great performance. But out of all the plays in this range, I would say my favorites are probably going to be Dennis Schroeder and Draymond Green. But I do like everybody listed here as well. Now, rounding out the slate, we got my favorite scrub plays, so players under that 5K price point. And starting at the top, we have Mr. Cody Zeller at 4.9. So Cody Zeller's not going to blow you away with any crazy upside, but he is super, super consistent. Has posted, I think, 4 straight games of, around that 25 to 30 DK point scoring. And at this price point, that's, right, exactly what you want from him in this matchup. They're going to probably need his size against Rashawn Holmes and Bagley down there for the Kings. So I definitely don't mind just plugging in Cody Zeller. He is a center. Center is always, one of the more coveted positions. So if you think there's a center with higher upside that you want to go for, I can definitely get on board with that. But if we want that consistent, safe approach, do like Cody Zeller here at 4.9. Dario Saric, Suns playing Phoenix today. Saric coming in at 4.2. He's been getting some pretty good run, consistent run the last couple of games. We're seeing him, in the mid 20s as far as minutes go. And whenever Saric gets some run, he's definitely going to produce. And we've seen that lately as well. So definitely don't mind taking a one-off on Dario Saric here at this price point. Going underneath Saric, we have what's probably going to be a chalky play in Alex Len at 3.7, but he just makes too much sense. We saw him just play 33 minutes against this Bucks team last time out. Performed really well. They want to switch up the starting lineup as far as moving Mo Wagner down to the bench, but still want to keep Robin Lopez in the rotation. But again, we saw Alex Len just get 33 minutes, and if he's going to get 30 minutes of run at 3.7 and a really, really high scoring game, yeah, I definitely love Alex Len here. I'll ride the chalk and get different elsewhere if needed. But if Alex Len's starting again, just plug him in your lineup, take that free square and move forward. And last piece, I'm not sure if it's going to be super chalk or not, but we do have Fachindu Campazzo at 3.5 for the Nuggets. So Monte Morris is out with injury. Campazzo should be the prime beneficiary of those minutes and of that usage. And so I don't expect anything crazy here from Campazzo as far as like 10x value or anything, but I think he provides some really good cap relief and helps with lineup construction. Plug him into your shooting guard or guard position. And I think he's a pretty safe bet for at least 18 to 20 DK points, provided that he does get the run that's expected. And so I think he's a solid filler option if you need him as well. Definitely would prefer Alex Lynn. Alex Lynn's by far my favorite scrub and value play on probably the entire slate. Again, it's probably going to be a chalky play, but I just don't see how you want to get away from that play. But again, these are all scrubs that I do like in this range. If you have, that last remaining salary in your utility spot and you really like the rest of your lineup, plug one of these guys in and it should work out great. So that's all I got for today's slate, guys. As always, please like and subscribe to this channel if you want some more single entry DFS content. And let's go get that money tonight.